I do want to get back to this breaking news that we have been following out of the Middle East. The Hezbollah terror group now confirming its longtime leader, Hassan Nasrallah, is dead. Nasrallah, also one of the terrorist organization's founders, killed in a targeted Israeli strike in Lebanon on Friday. The Israeli military saying Nasrallah was with Hezbollah leadership at the organization's headquarters when that precision strike was carried out. Hezbollah putting out a statement saying Nasrallah, quote, has joined his fellow martyrs, but also vowing to, quote, continue the holy war against the enemy and in support of Palestine. Do want to talk more about this and the latest information that is known and still what is left to figure out. So let's bring in David Daoud, a friend of the show, senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Thank you, Josh. It's always a pleasure.
All right, so first off, the big question here, what do we know about this strike that did kill Nasrallah?
Well, we know it killed him. We know it killed the IRGC official. It probably killed Abu Karaki, who's a senior military commander in Hezbollah. It's unclear, however, if it killed his Nasrallah's successor, Hashem Safiuddin, the head of the executive council. Reports I've seen earlier this morning seem to say that he wasn't killed. However, as we're speaking now, there are ongoing strikes in Dahia and elsewhere in Lebanon that seem to be more targeted assassinations. So even if Hashem Safiuddin, who's the head of, like I said, the head of Hezbollah's executive council, is somehow slated to succeed Nasrallah for the position of Secretary General, it does not seem like he will survive long in that position.
Can Hezbollah operate without Nasrallah?
Absolutely. This is an organization, as I've noted before, that is 40 years old. It is a professional organization. They have a structured hierarchy. This is definitely a blow to their image, to their prestige, to the cult of personality that was built around Nasrallah for the better part of 30-something years. But does this mean that that Hezbollah will no longer be able to operate militarily? No, they still have a chain of command that will function. Will it function at the level that it did before? Will those commanding officers?
Assembly. He was giving his speech there to world leaders, and just minutes later, this strike happened. Do you think there's any sort of correlation there, or is it a coincidence?
Well, we know that Prime Minister Netanyahu gave the green light for the strike prior to the speech, prior to leaving Israel. So I don't know if it's mere coincidence. Was this an attempt by the Israelis to lull Hezbollah into a false sense of security? Perhaps. I mean, I'll even tell you an anecdotal story. A colleague of mine and I were discussing whether Israel would launch a ground invasion this weekend into Lebanon. He said yes, and my response was absolutely not. Prime Minister Netanyahu is in New York. They wouldn't do something like that without him present. But clearly the Israelis were willing to take risky action with Prime Minister Netanyahu absent, and it's a demonstration, I think, of the trust between the Prime Minister and the Defense Minister, who remained in Israel, and the military echelon who executed the strike.
I want to get your take on something that's been discussed a lot, especially if you go look on social media. It's something that people are mentioning a lot here. We know that we saw the electronics explosions that happened a little more than a week ago here. That was pagers, it was walkie-talkies. And some people have said that the people who are running Hezbollah now are the ones that the terror group didn't deem important enough to have a pager or walkie-talkie. What are your thoughts overall on that statement?
I mean, there's been a lot of snark over the past couple of weeks, and some of it has been very funny and very justified. I don't know if I would necessarily agree with this, because if you think Hassan Nasrallah himself didn't have one of these telecommunications devices. So I wouldn't necessarily say that one's significance correlates with having had a pager or one of these telecommunications devices. Most of those people seem to be mid-level security operatives, at least, or perhaps, I mean, there was senior military commanders, but that's not all that runs Hezbollah. As I like to note, that Hezbollah isn't just a terror organization. It is an organization that commits terror among many other methods, and it has social services, it has a political arm, it has different parts of this organizational structure that penetrate deep into Lebanese society. That's been the secret of its durability and longevity, and I wouldn't discount those people either. Those will be the means for Hezbollah to regenerate if the Israelis don't deal the organization too critical of a blow right now.
I do also want to get your take on this post here on social media. It's from Iran's supreme leader. Not sure if he has somebody who posts for him or if he's on the internet there posting to Twitter, but he said it's an obligation for all Muslims to stand with the people of Lebanon and the honorable Hezbollah, offering their resources and assistance as Hezbollah confronts the usurping, cruel, malicious Zionist regime. What do you take from that statement there?
This is the typical language that they use, this idea that somehow the Muslims are by default united around them and that Iran's position is the default Muslim position, ignoring the fact that not that many years ago, the Iranian regime, Hezbollah, under the command of Nasrallah, were slaughtering Muslims in droves in Syria, mercilessly to save the regime of Bashar al-Assad, a brutal dictator. There are many Muslims who are celebrating Nasrallah's death, particularly Syrians, who suffered at the hands of this man and his organization, and who would look at Khamenei's tweet with mockery, because, again, they saw the true face of Hezbollah.
All right, David Daoud there with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and help break all this down. Obviously, a lot developing here over the past 24 hours. I imagine we're going to have you back as we have a lot more developing in the coming days. Thank you again for taking the time to be here with us.
My pleasure.